Yeah. And
Hello, February 7th. Happy Health Habits Wellbeing Wednesday. Welcome. I got my gear on for game day, Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if you do Super Bowl or not, but that is why I thought I'd be game ready today. And not that Iowa State's playing, but anyway, so if you're going to go to some sort of a Super Bowl gathering, please let me know because I have a new recipe book that's been available. So I can pop that in the chat now, or you can just, I can give it to you later, whichever. Um, actually, I can just chat, I can just pop it in there right now as we're
there was
chatting.
another fun recipe in the newsletter this week. Came out on Monday in the Monday email.
Yes, there was a
And
great
it's, Women's Health Heart Week.
Yes, Women's Health Heart Week is this week. Yes, yes, yes. There was a great recipe on the newsletter for chicken, buffalo chicken. So that was awesome. We had Dr.
That was good any time of the year, not just
Yeah,
Super Bowl stuff,
any
but it
time of
could
the
be
year.
a Super Bowl snack.
Yep, and all the appetizers and stuff may not be 5-in-1 friendly, Deb, but they can be made 5-in-1 friendly because they might, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You can
Yeah,
just
I
make
saw
it's
that.
the lean and green. That's what they're
yeah,
all
make
about.
it to fit your own purposes, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And okay, so that being said, and I put that in the chat, we've got to talk about, we have Dr. Anderson, we've got Monday night's winter movement, and a little bit of follow-up on vision board. And then I also just put out I put out a little challenge for keeping track of your sugar in the next a 7-day challenge for keeping track of added sugar. And you might want to forward this on to family and friends because it's just a Facebook thing. Just check in daily or every other, and just monitor and look at how much daily sugar you could or should. American Heart Association recommends 6 grams. That's 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons for men. So I didn't challenge anyone to do under 6 or 6 or 9 like Sharon and I have been living our lives by, because it's an awful big leap from where people are now. So I challenged people. What I did was I challenged people to keep track of it and see awareness, right? How much added sugar are you eating in a day? Now, Deb on 5-in-1, yours is super controlled. Kathy, yours is super controlled, I believe, too, but it's a good awareness thing. Wendy, I'm not quite sure, what that might be good for you to track, read labels, right? And Sharon's already living that way. That's her new unconscious competence. And as do I. So, but invite family and friends.
And wasn't that something you shared about who needs to wear glasses to read labels, or now we use our phone to take a picture? And
Yeah.
someone commented, I don't remember if it was Kathy or who, was like, I think they don't want us to read the labels. Or was that you, Sharon?
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah.
right. That's why the ingredient labels are so tiny.
Yeah, exactly.
You
That's
know?
hilarious. That's hilarious. So, um,
They don't
yeah,
want us to know what's there.
they don't want us to know it's there. No, not at all. They sure don't. And so, oh yeah, and then I did a post yesterday on my butterfly transformation. So if you haven't seen that, you can certainly go and watch my 20-year story. It's just talking about how, over the last 5 years, I've been doing this 5 years with Dr. Anderson, and I've been working on the emotional resiliency and the recovery from amygdala hijacking for 4 years or 3 years. I've been working with Carrie for 4 years. So this month is a really big anniversary month for me. I started, it's a big anniversary month, this whole beginning of the year thing. Not January, but just right. So I did the milestone post because I have been really working on kind of completing the past so I can move forward now in complete creation mode instead of default mode, which is in the past. Now I'm looking at, like Wendy's at, where you are, Wendy, with your life, is that I'm at creation now, and I'm literally at at source and at creation. So it's me and God. Okay, what do we do next? So I really wanted to kind of go through that process and finish up what was going on in there about the past. So anyway, that's on Facebook. You can take a look at that if you haven't already, or feel free to make a comment on it if you have seen it. I'm happy to get feedback. I would love your feedback. You guys have been part of my journey. You've been part of my support system. You've been part of how I've gotten to my transformation because I have you. I'm a group person. I can't do this alone. I never have, never will. My entire life, I need partners, I need groups, I need people. I cannot be left alone to my own devices. Not okay. It's not good. So I know this about myself. So thank you for being a part of my journey to transform everything. My whole life is just completely different. So thank you in advance. Mwah. And thank you for being here today. Thought we make sure to take a few breaths, right? I've been in the morning, I've been actually putting in the chat group, hey, let's take some time to breathe, use our self hugs and havening just to really, get those healthy, happy hormones. If you have trouble sleeping, if you have trouble anxiety, make sure to add that to your mental gym time because it's really, really important. To do. And I have to read Energy Bus. We don't have Sandy today because Sandy has, I can't remember what Sandy had today, but she's either going to be late or not be here. But the Energy Bus, I wanted to read number 15. There's a quote in here on page 62. And this kind of goes with my butterfly story. My story that I posted. Abraham Lincoln, it says in here, was very depressed, and he suffered lots of defeats, 2 bankruptcies, several election defeats, depression, which I'd forgotten about, a nervous breakdown. Yet, and he failed many, many times in business, but he still changed the course of our country's life. He still persevered with what he knew his purpose was. I thought this was so weird. I opened this book up today to this. He always knew what his purpose was. He just had to wait and keep going. And this quote in the book is really short. I'll read it. He says, I am not bound to win. I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to the light that I have. Abraham Lincoln. I'm bound to live up to the light that I have. So each of us have been given, right, gifts, and we have talents. We're bound to live up to those things. And that's what I feel like I'm finally doing at long last. And after a lot of healing and a lot of growth. And I think that is part of element 24 and 22, 23, 24, where you are, Wendy, is now how do I live up to what I've been given, my gifts, and what am I bound to doing? Because I know what's my purpose. If you don't know it, maybe, get one. And then live into it, right? Be, do, and have. You can't have a purpose and then not just have it. You have to be it. And so I just love this. Live into your own light. Make sure you're living and looking at your values. How do you live by those? How do you put your rocks in your bucket around those? Go ahead.
That was a beautiful quote about Abraham Lincoln. I've been pondering this week of doing your best,
Yeah.
not your most. And so that's kind of what he was saying there. Not
Yeah.
to win it. You don't have to be the best in the whole world. Just give your best. And that might be a little bit different than it even was yesterday. So that was great.
Yeah, I'm bound to I'm not bound to win and be the best at everything. Yeah, that's exactly right, Carrie. Doing my best and not necessarily the most or being the best. But
I'm not doing your best. I'm not doing Olympic best. I'm not doing Dr. A best, but I am doing 1% better in everything.
Yeah, Dr. A best or Olympic best. That's a great analogy. That's a great
Well,
analogy.
sometimes that's what we think we have to be
Mhm.
be best, but that's their best.
Yep.
That's not necessarily our best. You know, we're up in that league. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
but
Yep. Are you going to take the
Beat
7-day
yourself up.
sugar challenge? Are you going to take the 7-day sugar challenge, Carrie? Who wants to take the 7-day sugar challenge? Keep track
do
of
it.
their sugar.
I'll do it.
Kathy's. Are you in? Sharon's in. Wendy, are you in? She doesn't want to. Just go to the post. If you have family members that might be in, let them know. That would be.
So when does it start, Amy?
I said today. Just
Okay.
keep track of the day, and then for the next 7 days, because Valentine's Day, of course, is on Wednesday. So I
Okay.
thought, well, all bets are off on Wednesday. So you never, so if we did a
Yeah,
7-day
go
challenge,
Wednesday to Tuesday.
yeah, Wednesday to Tuesday, just for a little awareness, so that maybe when people got to Wednesday, they might make a different choice. For their
Amy's probably got some 100% pure chocolate stashed away.
right, exactly. And I'm gonna share every day something about sugar's not a treat. I'll share the sugar's not a treat video, and I'm gonna share some little factoids about sugar the next 7 days too. So, so that'll be something just to look forward to, because it's not a treat, it's not a gift, and it is certainly not love. Sugar is not love. It is toxic and it is poison, and we should not deal it to others. We should not be sugar dealers, drug dealers. Let's just say no and find a different way to love on people other than sugar. Okay. All right, so Dr. A, and then Monday night. Let's see. I've got notes on this. Carrie, your notes are beyond brilliant. Thank you for these. Love them. Who'd like to start? By the way, Deb just started. This is her first week, and she attended Life Book Club last night. She hasn't even opened the book, and she attended Life Book Club. Deb, do you want to tell them what you got out of it last night, even though you haven't even started on the Life Book? She was great.
Yes, I did feel a little uncomfortable, maybe because I hadn't even opened that book yet. So, but now I have opened it and I've seen a few pages, but it was very encouraging to hear them all give different perspectives and what spoke to them in the book. And there was someone in the club who shared that she was feeling very bad because she had gotten off of the program and was coming back in now. So she didn't feel like she could speak to anything. She just needed to listen. But everyone was just so encouraging and shared times. They had also slipped off and gained weight again and whatever, but they're back on. So to help her feel better, I loved that. And one man said that he had read the book through twice and he was on his third time, but new things were speaking to him. And so that felt just like the Bible to me, because the Bible speaks to you where you are, and books apparently do that also.
Absolutely, they do. Yep, there's no question. So yeah, so that was cool. There was some nice support there. It's 5 o'clock Central on Tuesdays, so y'all can jump in. And I just wanted to mention that because I don't get on often if I have other calls, but I do appreciate it a lot. It's very well laid out and very well thought out, and there's an actual schedule and things, Deb, I can give you, or if anyone's interested in the book club. Okay, so that being said, now that you have the floor, Deb, just how is your first few days going here? Did you get anything? Did you listen to Monday night, and you were on another webinar recently? What do you have?
Yes, I was, but I don't remember what.
You don't remember what?
I feel like, geez, I'm on Zoom more than ever before. And I'm having to rely on technology a lot more than I'm used to. So,
well,
but it's good.
Fast. You'll learn fast,
So,
right, Sharon?
Yeah, this is day 5 of my journey. And I'll tell you, it's been a rough week. Just a lot of shakiness. And I really loved it when you told me to eat a couple pickle spears, because one, they tasted so good, but they really help as well.
Pickles, pickle juice. Anyone else have any
Oh.
recommendations for Deb for her first week on plan? Anybody?
All I can say is just drink a lot of water. That did help me.
Yeah, I'm doing this morning I'm doing the amino acids, but I also have some sugar-free hydration essentials
Mhm.
that help me too.
Right.
Mhm.
So I just stick it in the water and it has made me feel better, but I don't like that shakiness I feel when I get up in the mornings. And I'm not loving the food because sugar is my friend. No, it's not my friend. But it was my friend.
Was your friend.
And so that's a hard adjustment to the food, but I'm in it for the long haul, so I'm not
Yeah.
giving up.
Your taste buds are going to thank you. Like I said, they'll change. Don't you guys all agree? You've been
Yeah.
there, done that, right?
There's things I didn't like at first that now I like.
Yep.
I'm hopeful.
Yep.
So just
And
keep
Sha-
with it. That's all I
Sharon-
can say.
Yeah, if
Thank
you
you.
there's the taste buds change and now you like them. Sharon, you can speak to that whole thing too, getting
Yeah.
off of your sugar, right?
Anything chocolate was good for me.
Mhm.
It tasted good. I mean,
Yeah, I'm in Coke withdrawal. Also, I used to have a full calorie Coke every day at lunch, big one.
Hmm.
So I'm in withdrawal this week.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Next
Yeah, that's
week, hopefully
probably
we'll
part of
start
your
doing
your
better.
shakiness too, is not having that probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would try caffeine, kind of supplementing some caffeine and maybe cola flavored stevia for a
Okay.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she can drink green tea. I mean, that's got
Green tea.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not as much caffeine as the Coke. So
Right. But
definitely try. Do you do any coffee, Deb? Or
Occasionally.
Mhm.
Occasionally.
Yeah, that
But
might.
but what I
use
like is the
coffee to make
creamers.
shakes. Yeah, me too. But use coffee to make one of the shakes. Like even if it's just a vanilla shake or chocolate shake, then you're getting
Okay.
extra creamy or you're getting mocha. And so it's not just one flavor. That
Okay.
really helped me, and now I just have to really love the little macchiato shakes.
Great.
Phasing it out.
Yeah,
But that
macchiato.
does help. So there's a couple coffee flavored ones.
Yeah, macchiatos are the bomb. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So put the shakes in. Good tips. Good tips,
Yes.
everybody.
Thank you.
That's it. So if you think of something you got from a webinar, let us know. Kathy, you got your mic
And for
open.
just water, I like to put things in my water, like just squeeze a lemon or some essential oil, or just
Yeah.
have those.
yeah, I like lemon and lime, so I would put lemons and limes in my water.
Mint leaves, that sort of thing. Yeah. Yep.
Just
Good.
for variety, just for some taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, and teas. Don't forget teas. You can do the hot tea, cold tea, the green tea.
Any herbal tea I love, either hot or cold. The
Mhm.
cherry, the lemon zinger, the ginger,
Yeah.
those are all good, wintertime or summertime. I make them every week, every day. I make pots of them so that I've got something that tastes good, or tastes at least not like just plain water. So yeah, those are other ideas. Good job, guys. Good job.
And
Kathy,
sometimes I need the crunchy snacks. So yeah, celery, carrots, just for some crunch.
not carrots though, on 5 and 1.
No sugar.
Celery.
My bad. Thank
Yep,
you.
celery would be good. Yep. Kathy, your mic's open. What you get from Monday night or Dr. A? Did you see either?
I did not see either.
Oh, that's so weird.
I know. So I
You
got to
didn't-
catch up.
You
So
gotta catch
where did you say Dr. A's was again? Where can I find it?
On Facebook.
Facebook.
Can you see in the chat, Kathy? I'll put
Yes,
it
I
in the
can
chat
see
if
it.
you want.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the chat messenger
Is
there.
it if you scroll up?
Okay, I see it in the chat. Okay.
Yep,
Mhm.
just hit that before the window closes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
If we're on Dr. Anderson here, I'm going to screen share here real quick. He had talked about the this slide here, the repetitive cycles that we find ourselves in, that we're trying to stop, challenge, and choose our way out of. That he made a point, and Carrie, you did great with your. If anyone wants Carrie's notes, I can forward them to let put in the chat. Carrie can they're one. She is an amazing. She types while she listens. It's amazing. But he said, if your life is looking like Groundhog Day and it's the same habit, the same thought, and Carrie, you can chime in on this as well. If the same judgments, the same things are happening in your life, in here, the thoughts, the emotions, behavioral, relational, family, work. Here's Wendy, family, work, generational patterns. This stuff, notice it. He really was big on journaling it. Notice it. Write it down. If we don't notice it, if we're not aware of it, like the amount of sugar, then we can't do anything about it. But if we write it down, then we can get to updating these thoughts, and we can get to developing them in a different way. And I really like people. This was big. People came on and with their family problems, man. They were like, I've got a bad relationship with my daughter. I've got, I can't, all kinds of family stuff came up this week. And he went back to, okay, guys, you are in development. You are in what he called, what was it? You're in the emergent process, where you are emerging and you're becoming aware and you're changing and growing. Whereas now your family is still stuck in their old ways and thoughts. So there's going to be, some friction. How do you get out of that? And he just, said you have to realize that there's a repetitive pattern going on. You're stuck in that rut of thinking. And then to get yourself out of it, you've got to step back from the rapids and watch the rapids go. You sit on the shore, detach from it, watch, and then make your move. So every day doesn't end up being Groundhog Day. That's why people can't get over their repetitive habits, because they never detach themselves from the actual doing of it long enough to stop, challenge their thinking, look at it from a different perspective. Right. Carrie, you had notes on this, or Sharon, maybe did anybody else see it? Any other comments?
Yeah, that was that one you have up there, the repetitive cycle. So I was just thinking right now, if we've got people on a challenge to write down, what's in your label, sugar, or people are used to taking your measurement, or you're going on the scale every day, then just at the same time, you've already taken note of a measurement, so just take note of, hey, did I get sucked into a rut? Am I in a same pattern? And I thought that was really important what you mentioned, the cultural and generational, that he brought that up too. So we want to get out of the cycle that's on screen and go to emergent process. He had the up arrow and the down arrow one. And so instead of having, as you're tracking, you'll notice how much of this you have going on, and it'll be whatever percent. And he said, you'll see the percentage switching. You'll actually get more emergent percentage of, what's happening in my life today. Are my relationships better? Am I adding value? Do I feel in a growth? Do I feel open? And then that percentage will start getting higher. And that was the up arrow, down arrow that put on the newsletter thingy today. So I thought that was really important. So if you're already tracking something, your numbers, your weight, or your measurements, and you're tracking your sugar, just take another minute or two and write down what's going on emotionally.
So Wendy, you did something, if you wouldn't mind sharing, generationally, family patterns. She was realizing her trip to Seattle to see family was always going the same way over and over and over again. And it was really pushing her buttons. And so she took some great action to stop the repeat Groundhog Day response that she normally gets. And I just want to give you a round of applause in advance. Can you share just kind of what you did as a strategy to stop?
Well, yeah, I mean, I tend to be, and I was reading in the life book Element 23, which was about mastering your emotions. And Dr. A talks in there about a story, which is similar, has happened to me, where he's triggered by lemonade because of something that happened in his youth. He drank it, got sick, and he still can't eat lemonade. So things like that happen to me because especially when I've been going to a place over the years where I've had good things and bad things happen, and I just know before I go that it's a possible trigger for me. So this time for it was a simple thing, as easy as I had a family event there this weekend, and I'm like, I'm not taking any chances. Last time I left, I was in tears and a mental breakdown. I don't need that again.
Yeah.
So I just
No.
controlled where I stayed. I didn't stay in the apartment with my 90-year-old mother because that can be a trigger for, it overwhelms her and it's not good for me.
So you chose a
And-
different place to stay, even to not.
Yep,
stay in
and
your
I
environment.
left on Sunday on an earlier flight to get back to my own place earlier on Sunday, and I didn't stay for a family brunch that wasn't necessary. I
Mhm.
just skedaddled out of there by the cover of morning darkness and came home. And it was fine. It was better.
Yeah, so she knew where her triggers would be. She took
And look
herself
at you're
out of,
smiling now.
right? Yeah, she took
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
equation, and she took herself out of that equation because she knew what would happen, because it's a pattern for her family. It's a pattern.
It's a
for
pattern for me, and it's because of the location. It's because of Seattle. I honestly can't stand that place because it's so triggering
but
for me.
You realize the common denominator, so that's kudos
Mhm.
to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then element 23 is like it's all about like recognizing your emotions and controlling your emotions and understanding what triggers you. And if you understand what the trigger is, what the issue is, then
Mhm.
you can get to the solution to it.
Right,
Yeah, so
right.
there
And
you
life
had the
isn't about
repetitive
how.
thing, the trigger, that red arrow pulling you down, but you had emergent thought, you were open to new ideas, you saw the pattern, and you brought it.
Yeah, and so it's not about what happens to us in life, it's how we respond to it, right? And that's emotional resiliency. And that's what I've been working so hard on. Carrie's working really hard on. We all work hard on in the life book, is creating that emotional resiliency, and what he called, Jan Paxman talked about, psychological flexibility. Jan was great. I love Jan. Psychological flexibility and resiliency. That is the name of the game, y'all. That is it. Right.
Yeah, so
And
great
the
example,
same
Wendy.
thing applies to food, and I was applying it also. I got a thing on my vision board about it's all about healthy thoughts, and it's food, and the key here is like look at, or when you can identify when you're doing something that's a numbing behavior, be it alcohol, food, gambling, shopping, whatever, there's an emotion behind it that you're masking. And it's, again, sorry, I have a cold, I sound really nasal, but it's about recognizing what, that's a trigger too. And then the result is overeating, whatever it is for you, but it's
Yep.
based on emotion.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question. Yep. Yep. I like the bullet points you took, Carrie, was if you're noticing a repetitive happening in your life, first be non-judgmental. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just notice. No judgment. No judgment. Number 2, be aware. Number 3, start journaling. And number 4, start analyzing your emotional patterns. Those are really great. Just be open and curious, as to what it is. And I love the idea of, he told a couple people, create space for your feelings. Create space, step back, let you have the feelings, right? Remember the 90-second rule? Have the feeling, let it happen for 90 seconds and just feel through it. And don't try to, like you said, maybe stuff it down with something else, some other behavior. Yeah. I like the arrow thing, Carrie. Thank you for sharing that. The more emergent and growth and development happens, the less of that other one we get. So we want the scales to to tilt the opposite direction. So yeah, that's
I think it was him that said, you know, if your cup is already full of the
Mhm.
junk, the stuff pulling you down, you don't have room for the good stuff. So it's not all about total removal. You know, like maybe same with sugar. Maybe you can't remove it all right now, or it's giving you a hard time. But fill in as much of the good as you can, and then there's not that much room for the bad.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you know, so that was his with the arrows too. It showed equilibrium. You know, you will find your balance. Sometimes it
Mhm.
feels like you got to go over the deep end just to get started, and that may be the case. But maybe just adding in a little at a time. I think it was him that said that.
Yeah, a little at a time, of course, as with everything. Um, yeah, always baby steps, but noticing your 1% improvements as well. I like how you talked to Cheryl about, okay, I tried to get in and get a question, but I couldn't get in. I couldn't get in.
You were in queue.
I was in queue. But he talked about how, and this is critical, guys, being absorbed in the process, being absorbed in the tools, be absorbed in the recordings, be absorbed in the life book. And Deb, this is good for you to hear. The more you absorb, the more you get, the more you suck it in, the more absorption you have, the better your transformation will be. And that's why we have the 4 components. We have the coaching, the book and workbook, we've got the webinars in the community, and we've got the daily do, right? I just want to jump in and say, you know, Dr. Anderson, it's like, how does an alcoholic stay sober? How does a narcotic addict stay sober? Tracy, you know, the new girl that's coming, to the group, she's not here today working. Tracy, she's in her like first month. She's a recovering narcotics addict, like both, and now trying to recover from codependency. And just got the books that I was recommending but here's the thing about Tracy. She immediately knew, got to read the books, got to get the workshop in my calendar, got to get on this Wednesday call. You know what I'm saying? Like immediately she knew she had to absorb herself into the whole thing, or else she couldn't make it stick. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah, it's like learn a new language. Immersion is always the best.
Yeah, because she knows that that's what it takes. Like to stay sober, you got to do the work. You got to absorb yourself in staying sober. You got to absorb yourself. And for all intents and purposes, guys, you're learning to stay sober from unhealthy food habits. That's no different.
Right.
That is no different. You're learning to stay sober with your eating habits. No different. Does that make sense?
Well, it goes back to numbing behaviors. I mean, alcoholism is more than just a behavior. There's something there chemically too, but it's
and
also a masking behavior.
Absolutely.
But it starts with the behavior and then it becomes chemical because you train your brain. And Dr. A talked about that too. You can untrain or retrain your brain, and that's exactly what we're doing here.
Yep. And with money too, right? Gambling, right, Wendy? And any numbing behavior is just avoidance. It's not growth, it's not development, it's not awareness, it's not anything other than avoidance. And that is a coping mechanism triggered by who? Who triggers that? What part of the brain triggers the coping mechanism? You guys need to know this. It's in the life book, element 4. Remember what's the lizard brain? The lizard brain, remember that? Is in control of all of your reactions. Then we have the dog brain and then the human brain, okay? The lizard reaction is like, that's fight or flight. That's get your hand off the hot stove. The dog brain is like, okay, you can learn a new trick. You can teach a dog a new trick, like Pavlov's dogs. The highest brain is that human brain, and that's that cognitive thinking where you are actually in charge. We think very little at the top of that triangle. We do very little cognitive actual thinking. we mostly react and respond with our lizard and our doggy brain. You guys with me on that? So we gotta learn how to use our cognitive thinking human brain more often, but that requires that we shut off the lizard brain. The lizard brain is the amygdala. The amygdala is the name of that part of your brain. And that's the one that is trying to cope by making you eat sugar, Deb, by making you gamble, by making you, right? That's the one, that's the part of the brain that says, oh, you need to feel better. You need to feel better now. You need to protect yourself. So you need to go to the refrigerator and you need to eat that because otherwise you're going to feel really scared, right? Or whatever it is you're feeling. You're going to feel really mad and we don't want to feel really mad, right? Or really bad or really sad or whatever. We don't want any of that. No, heavens no. We don't want to feel any emotions. Right?
Yeah, and all addictive behavior is a trauma response. You know, Dr. A talks about the icky sauce, but that's what it is. It's unresolved trauma that's still in there, got pushed down. And when we're doing something new, it'll bring this up. But when we're stuck in old patterns, it's there. We're just, as they said, nothing.
Yeah, I love this whole thing, this whole conversation about those repeat patterns and the reactions and the being absorbed in it and what you just said, Carrie, about trauma response. Yes.
Yeah, all addictive behavior is trauma.
Yep, it's all trauma response, and it's something in your brain that was a trauma in the past, and we keep carrying it forward like a broken record.
And maybe it protected us when we needed it at the time to get started, but then, like when you said, it was a coping thing, and then it can become a chemical addiction.
Yep,
but even
absolutely.
the chemical addiction would be in our brain. Maybe we're looking for dopamine and oxytocin.
Yep. Then it becomes neurologic and chemical and physiological addiction. It just turns into all kinds of nasty. So yeah, that's exactly it. There's nothing really, my husband has been sober 14 years and there's nothing that saved my life and changed my life than really when I went to the family program and they really explained to me that, listen, your husband is no longer driving the bus. He's sitting in the back seat and the bus driver is in charge, and it's whatever that chemical is, because there's a chemical complete neurological destruction of the no button. And that happens over time when we do those repeated patterns too much. We just destroy ourselves neurologically and physiologically. So yeah, that's what some of us are dealing with, which is why some people are using the medical drugs, the medical weight loss drugs, because their inhibitory neurons are so fried that they literally they're so beyond fried. That's not even about having a human brain. It's just beyond the physical, way that they can deal with it. So anyway, we don't want to get that bad, but hey, it's Girl Scout cookie season. I saw my first ad.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. These are drug dealers on the corner, right? Okay. This is drug dealing, legal drug dealing. Stay away from the drug dealers. Just step away.
So I mean,
Girl
Yeah,
Dr.
can't start that.
No, legal. Yeah, it's legal drug pushing.
Yeah, they're selling happiness.
And believe me, I love a frozen Thin Mint all day long, all day long. Oh my goodness, yes, that is the best. So I know my Girl Scout cookies. Let's just say that. But so anyway, anyway, so that was, go back and catch Dr. A with that link. Let's
Definitely.
see. Yeah, Kathy, did you have anything else? Did you see Monday night, or did Wendy see about the winter motion movement? No. I kind of gave my biggest takeaways was, yeah, everybody was off today. I don't know why no one was on. Work. The biggest takeaways I had was, we have fun. In the winter, everybody gets so draggy and so complainy, and so everybody complains. I can't get out and exercise, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll tell you what, there's always an excuse every time of year. Then it's going to be too hot. Then it's going to be too rainy and muddy, whatever. They're making a point of have fun with whatever you're doing. Go skiing, go skating, go sledding, go do something different that you just have fun. with it. Don't take yourself so seriously. Stop going to the gym. I got Tracy. I told Tracy, why are you going to the gym? You hate going to the gym. She was like, you're right. She went and canceled her gym membership. Why am I doing this? I hate it and I never want to go and I'm paying for it. So she quit and got her gear at home. So have
I
fun.
actually listened to a really good thing today on why hobbies are so important, because
Mhm.
it does give us the happiness that
Yes.
dopamine, oxytocin hit, and we don't need it from food as much.
Yes, we need to
If
have
we find an activity that's fun, yeah, whether it be the
Mhm.
movement, go outside, enjoy nature, love that. But
Mhm.
maybe it's knitting or coloring, and you're telling your brain to stay in line, and all those things are super duper helpful. So incorporate something of that in now, especially as you're leaving off sugar. Bring in more things that you do enjoy.
I tell you what, I've been dancing every morning and I love it. And I do maybe 2 to 5 minutes and my song of the year that I picked. Pick your
know.
word of the year, pick your song, get your vision board going, but pick a song of the year. And I've been playing it every day. It really works for me. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. I wish I could do it for an hour. I don't take the time, but at least 2 to 5, and it's fun. But it gives that fun in my life. So have fun with whatever movement it is that you're doing. Don't let it be a drudgery or else it's going to be a chore. And then lastly, and not the other thing I got out of it was that I really thought was powerful too, is consistency always outweighs intensity. Consistency always outweighs intensity. So write that one down. It also always outweighs quantity. Consistency also outweighs quantity, and I would add that myself. And then you're worth it. 30 minutes a day, you're worth it. Don't forget, you are worth that time. Many women are in that codependent state, which I lived in, that toxic giving and too much giving and not enough getting. That self-care time, it is not an option, it's essential. 30 minutes a day, you are worth it. Your health depends on it. So make sure that
And just so
happens.
you know, that can be cumulative. You can do 5 or 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
It's still okay.
Yeah, self-care can be accumulative throughout the day. 5 minutes of self-care of something. Know your love languages, know how to love yourself, how you love others, and give yourself some of that, some of that loving. The other thing my other note was the one gal, the host, had her dad on who's currently in radiation for chemo or radiation for cancer. And he was brilliant, guys. He was just, oh, what a leader, what a trooper. Watch the recording. He was awesome. I'm not going to try to summarize it for you. You just got to go watch him. He was so great. It was her dad. So his mindset was awesome. Show up, do what you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do. Was basically his main message, but man, was he inspiring. So go catch that guy.
Now you got me even talked into going and watching.
Yeah, he was great. I was like, having been in those shoes, and I just did my story on my cancer, the whole thing with my thyroid and my liver and all that. I mean, there's nothing that we can't do to keep moving forward ever. So go listen to that guy. He was great. I don't know where Margot is. I'm glad Betty got on finally here. Margot said she was going to be late. Can you get off mute, Betty, or no? She must have had trouble today. If you can, we'd love to have you on. Get off mute.
Yeah, Betty, give it a nod if you can hear us. You're on. Yeah.
Okay.
If you touch your screen, then the microphone option will come up on the bottom.
So here's a question for you all. And Wendy, you brought this up, element 23. These higher level questions in here are so important to flip forward to. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? What's at stake? What's at stake and how is this affecting me? What's at stake? That's a huge question, guys. What's at stake with this decision? What am I feeling? Why? What is the emotion telling me? What's at stake? These are gold. These questions are gold. I wrote them down and I keep them in my little notebook so I can use them anytime I'm having trouble with a feeling and an emotion. Okay. Betty, you on?
Yes, I am. I
Yeah.
am on. Yeah.
Awesome. Please share we've talked about everything, Monday, Tuesday, our week, share what you got. What are your wins? What have you learned from the
Mike,
webinar?
I've got a couple of quick things. On Friday, I did several of these, walk by and just pop something in my mouth. And all of a sudden it's like, where did this come from? It wasn't something bad, but it was, I made up some turkey legs and I just go by and I pick a little off of it and pick a little. It's like, it's not time to eat. And so I already talked that over with Dr. Michelle. And I went back to the beginning and read the book again. But I did on Monday hit 169.8. So I am 2 points off the 170s and into the 169ers. So,
Awesome.
so yes, yay.
That's
So,
over 70 pounds now. Just
pardon?
Is that over 70 pounds now?
Well, it's 70.2.
70.2.
Yes.
70.2.
Point
It
two.
is.
Yes. So,
Don't forget
And your awareness and your taking charge of your mind is amazing.
fantastic.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So I'm doing it. And I just want to add, I just got in on you're talking about doing, but you know what? I've been very good about doing just 10 minutes on, I've got that bike for my shoulders, the hand bike.
Mhm.
I'm very consistent. I've been doing that now for a couple of weeks, almost every day, unless I'm real sore. I skip a day and then get back on, but just that 10 minutes a day, not very much. And now I started doing a few weights and just doing about 3 to 5 minutes on my weights. I'm starting to feel just a little tone. I still have skin that hangs down and drags on the ground, and but it's still, it's tightening. I can feel it. I can,
Right.
it's good. So yes, so even if you can't do 30, do 15, do 10. And then I did 7 and I did 8 and then 10. And now I'm up to 15 minutes and
It's
extra walking.
consistency.
I walk the halls. I walk my halls and walk my halls. So
Yep, consistency over intensity,
intensity. I wrote that down.
over quantity,
Over,
doing something.
yes.
Mhm,
I'll
mhm.
write that too.
And
Quantity.
I don't remember if it was Jan Paxman or if it was somebody else, but they were talking about the atomic habits that's just increasing 1%. She said it's already all incorporated in Dr. A's books. You read
Yes.
Habits of Health, you're doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're doing what it says, you're doing it. You're already increasing. So more than 1%, but start with 1.
Mhm.
Do it. Then you'll see the rewards, don't you, Betty?
Yes, I really do. I'm
Mhm.
going to try and turn you up there. Maybe I can hear you now because I can barely hear you.
Oh, I
but-
think it's my headset. It's not great.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And mine, I went up to the top so I can hear you better.
All right.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
probably
wanted to
her
see-
headset.
See, Betty and Deb, we're getting this. We're getting this. All this
I
technology.
know. I know.
Okay.
A few years ago, I couldn't even do a TV remote. I had to learn that. I had to get a phone and learn the phone. I had to do this computer. I'm getting it bit by bit and within 5 years. So yeah.
Yeah, we all are. We all absolutely are.
Yeah.
There's a graphic I wanted to share, but I don't have my PowerPoint now is closed down, but that I wanted to share too. If you don't make changes now, where will you be in 5 years?
Oh,
Okay, this is a good question.
yes.
Don't make changes.
If you
I
don't
would
make
say the
any,
same, but actually maybe downhill.
yeah, if you don't make any changes today and what you need to do in terms of your optimal health, you don't make any changes, not even 1% in these areas, where will you be 5 years from now? And the only play, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I truly believe that because I'm doing something every single day.
Yeah.
It's just a minute little thing, but I do something. You have to, and you just keep going, and you got to you pick your hiney up and get it off that couch, and you take it down, and you walk do a second trip to the bathroom. You pick up something, I have a bill here, I just paid it. I walk down and I put it in and I file it, and then I walk all the way back. If I don't do that, then I've got piles and piles of paper like I have for 70 years, you know?
Mhm.
Not now.
Mhm.
That bill is filed one bill at a time.
And I'm proud of Betty. I want to just point out, Betty went back to the life book. She went back to the basics. Gang, the first 5 elements, go back and back and back. Those are
Yeah.
where you're going to practice your free throws and your layups. We never stop practicing free throws and layups. Okay.
Yep.
We just
Yep.
don't. We just don't, because we're always gonna have to practice those. And I just want to share this.
And if you're drinking your extra water like you're supposed to, you're gonna make those extra trips to the bathroom anyway.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So my goal for you guys is to learn, let's master this year the emotional resiliency of getting our, lizard brain calmed down and our thinking brain on, instead of thinking with our doggy trained brain, that, our imprinted.
Yeah.
Let's start thinking about not implanted beliefs or imprinted beliefs based on trauma, but let's start living from beliefs that are inspired beliefs. Okay.
Yes.
We
Yes.
all have imprinted traumas, but we want to live inspired. And so that's what I want to challenge y'all to think about this year a little more as you live through your word, pick a song. Here's the graphic. If you don't make changes, where will you be? Right? Here's where if we're making little 1% changes, we're moving toward thriving versus we're moving toward surviving. And that will decrease over time. Over time, it will just get worse. Right?
Mhm.
So making sure that you continue to absorb yourself in all the components to the best of your human ability, because the more you do, the better off you will be. Okay, so I can't stress that enough. This program is all there. Atomic Habits, all the other books you could get. Don't go buying a bunch of books until you actually wear these out. Okay, once you've worn these out, then you can go buy some more books. I did tell Tracy, don't buy any more books. Just read the life book. Just do this. Okay, do not buy more books. And this year is, after you watch my little Facebook story that I've been working on, completing my past so I can create my future. This year I'm going to call Hope for Wholeness, and it's going to be #Hope for Wholeness, and really helping people to and focusing on, hey, it's about expanding. It's expansion in all these areas. It's 1% better in all these areas for all of us, because we always expand our broken. We can, pump up our tire if it gets popped, right? We can get a different tire if we need to.
Yes.
We could get a new tire maybe if we wanted, right? But
Yes.
it's all
Rid of my
about
spare tire, get a real tire.
yeah. It's all about expansion, emotional resiliency, getting out of that conflict driven motivation cycle. When you just don't feel like it, or you feel like you're doing well, then you slack off. Don't be a slacker. This is the
No.
this is the slacker cycle. Okay, get real clear about your why. Brush it off if you haven't. Make sure you're looking at, the why is the T in the road. It's like, okay, I'm going this way. I'm making a real commitment and I'm not going back. There's no other time. Once I make this commitment,
Yeah.
I can't get off the interstate. You're stuck, right, on the interstate. So be thinking about your health that way. You have to make one decision or the other, and you're stuck on that road. So
Yeah.
pick. And then really don't forget, if you haven't, to go back and really look at what what places in your wheel do you need to expand, and or create some values in, or breathe it into existence, or whatever you need to do. Okay,
You're going
So-
forward, but you watch for those potholes. There's a pothole there. You don't have to fall in anymore.
exactly.
You can go around that pothole. If the road's that bad, perhaps another road. You just go north on another road. So
Mhm. Yep. And there's
Not a
Karen
choice.
and I in Ecuador, right? And we are, you know what? We want to be happy. I don't want to act happy. I want to be happy. I want all of you to be happy. I don't want you to do it, or I want you to be it,
Yeah.
So we can create all things new. We can create all things new. All our habits can be made new.
Mm.
And that is the case. We've already seen it happen. So we're at 1 o'clock. I don't know what happened to Margot and some of the other folks, but it's okay. We got the recording. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here, everybody. I'll stop
Oh,
share.
yeah.
Oops, stop share. Sorry about that. Hugs and love to you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
You're
thank you.
welcome. And bring friends to these, gang. All are welcome. All are welcome.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay? We'll talk
Okay.
soon. Have a wonderful
Thanks.
Wednesday. Well-being Wednesday.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.